Hello and welcome to another episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Today's guest is a manager, ring announcer, wrestler, and commentator. Please welcome Mangrel when it's Halloween, but when it's not Halloween, he is La Bomba Beyonder. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Lucca Valentino. Lucca, tell me, how have you been this week? It's only what, 10 days into January, but tell me, how you been doing?
I've been good. I'm really excited for this. So thank you so much for having me on.
No problem at all. No problem at all. We've kind of got to know each other at the DKW shows, which is good. We did one commentary gig together, and I thought it was quite fun. Buka and Luca, you coined that nickname, so that's pretty cool during DKW November's Pain. But I want to pick part of your career and not just talk about what you've been recently doing. What I want to do, mate, is discuss your love for pro wrestling. So tell me, Luca, what was your first memory of wrestling, or like your earliest memory of it, if you do recall?
So I remember I started watching wrestling when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Um, I think I was at my dad's house and it was Sunday morning. And back then on Sky One, there was a show called WWE Experience. I don't know if they still have it around, but I just started watching that and immediately I was hooked. I don't know what it was, but I just fell in love with it. I think I just fell in love with the violence.
Yeah.
Uh, but obviously, like as you learn more and you watch more over the years, you tend to do your research and you sort of understand what it is that you're actually watching. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like any typical other fan, loved watching it, and yeah, I just studied it for 10 years, and then eventually that's when I just started my training at 14 years old. So, yeah,
This country's
it,
mental, in it? Like how young you can begin your training in the
yeah.
ring. Sometimes when we speak to Americans, they're like, "Oh, really? That young?" Like, I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I say it's the longest relationship I've ever been in because it's literally my everything. It's my life, and I don't know where I would be without it. It's literally what's keeping me going every single day, and yeah, I just love wrestling so much.
I really like that, the way you've just phrased that relationship with wrestling, your longest relationship. And that's a really nice way of putting it, because I think a lot of people would actually say the same thing, since they've been such a young age. Just before you did get into wrestling, though, can you just confirm if Gangrel was your favorite wrestler?
Yeah, so one day in 2009, I
Yeah.
just was on a binge of wrestling matches as I usually do, and I just stumbled across this vampire wrestler named Gangrel, and I just liked everything about it. I like the entrance, the look. It was very edgy,
Mhm.
um, which is really weird because I was really scared of like certain characters growing up. Like the Undertaker, I was petrified of him because I was shit scared of the dark growing up. So yeah, it was like, and I remember going to Nottingham Arena in 2009 for a house show that they had. It was a SmackDown and ECW house show.
Nice.
And, I was enjoying the show, just watching it. And the main event of the show was CM Punk versus The Undertaker in a casket match. And I just remember CM Punk made his entrance,
Yeah.
everyone doing all that stuff. And then all of a sudden the lights went out. And as soon as the lights went out, I just screamed my head off. And then the music played. I'm crying my eyes out. And my mum's sitting next to me. And I'm just like screaming my whole way through. I didn't even watch the match. I
Yeah.
was terrified. But thankfully, things have changed. I absolutely love being in the dark.
I was gonna say, like, you're not afraid of the dark now, right?
Uh,
Just
I love the dark. There's no lights on in my room hardly. This is actually the first time I've had my light on in my room for this amount of time
yeah.
in so time. So yeah, things have definitely changed, and I'm no longer a pussy when it comes to that sort of thing.
I appreciate you leaving the lights on for this podcast. Thank you very much, Luca. You actually got to get some approval from Gangrel for your awesome cosplay as Gangrel, as we called you, Mangrel on commentary. That was pretty fucking cool. Listeners can find that image on your social media, which I will direct them to at the end of this interview. So you got to keep listening because we've still got a lot more to talk about. But tell me, Luca, when you go through this journey with being a wrestling fan, and then you sort of transition into training and sort of get into the business. Tell me what actually encouraged you to do it. Was there a specific match, or did you just, you grew into it a little bit? It's like, I want to do this.
So unlike most people, I didn't actually grow up wanting to be in the business.
Hmm.
Um, what happened was I turned 13. That's what I always say. I turned 13 because obviously when you turn 13, you think you know everything.
Yeah,
You think you want to do. You like it's kind of like the 18 of kids basically.
yeah,
You think you've got it all planned out for you. And I was like, you know what? One day I was like, you know what? I think I could be in the business, but not as a wrestler because I'd be absolutely terrible. But I think I'd be a good manager, good mouthpiece. And so I started looking for wrestling schools in December of 2012. Um, and DKW was actually the first one that I looked into because a friend of mine who I'd made on social media was called Jezebeth. And she started out in DKW, and we got to talking and watched a few of her matches. Really liked her gimmick. She had like a scream queen sort of bratty gimmick, and I really liked that about her.
hmm
So I looked into it, got in contact with John Ritchie, who was running DKW at the time, told him, hey, I'm 13 years old. I have cerebral palsy, but I would really love to, join your wrestling school.
yeah,
And I would really love to be a manager. And he was like, okay, cool. Come down and we'll see what we can do with you. And we'll get to training you. So at the time, DKW was at the Bucket of Blood Fight Club in East Tilbury. But in January of 2013, they were moving to Purfleet. And so I went to the first session that they had in Purfleet
yeah.
and watch and observe just to see the environment was like. I'd made some friends with a few of the guys there beforehand. And I went to the session. John was there. He greeted me. Lucas was there. Lucas was there.
Lucas Jackson, founder Jackson, shout out to him. Yep.
Ernest Sterling, Zaid Khan. I think Josh Falkner was there as well. A few of the OG
Mm.
GKW, and I only stuck around for about an hour, and then I like left because there wasn't really much going on. And eventually, I just decided, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. I'm too young, too small. If I'm worried I'm going to hurt myself, so I just need to like maybe work on myself a little bit more, get my fitness up, and then maybe think about this in the future and do it in the future. Well, a couple of months after that, I discovered IPW, which was more local to me,
Yeah.
15 away. But at the time, their age requirement to start training there was 16. I was only 13 at the time. So I emailed them and I was like, hey, would you maybe consider lowering your age requirement so that, younger people can join? And they were like, well, it's not really something that we're thinking of doing right now, but if we do, we'll let you know. Fast forward to October, the end of October, they lowered their age limit. I just turned 14 that August. So I was like, okay, going to get on this. I begged and pleaded with my mum to take me to training. And she was like, why? Why? She just kept asking all these questions. I was like, please just take
Yeah.
me.
Just do
I
it.
really,
Just do it.
I really want to do this. I really want to do this. So surely enough, she took me to a session. I loved watching it. I watched it again, didn't just start. I just watched for 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, I want to do this. So November 17th, 2013 was my first day training.
Bloody hell, mate. Bit of a journeyman, aren't you, already? Even though like you was like 13, 14 when you did begin this, and you're still like in your early 20s, if I did the math right, mid 20s.
Mid
Mid
20s.
20s, okay. Yeah. I keep forgetting it's 2025. Even I said in the intro, but just clockwork, whatever. But yeah, no, it's crazy the fact that, still mid 20s, but you've been doing this for over 10 years now. That's crazy. How I know you is as a wrestling manager. So I've got to pick your brains a little bit, and I want to know, Luca, what do you consider to be a good wrestling manager?
One that is not selfish, one that knows what their job is.
Hmm
You're there to put your wrestler over. You need to put yourself over as a manager. You need to get people to boo you, cheer you, do whatever, but don't make it about you.
Yeah,
The should be in the ring. You're outside of it. They're the main stars. You're the co-star, but that doesn't mean that your role as a manager is any less important.
yeah,
So I always try to make sure that the attention is always on my wrestler, and that if I can get a few moments where they do focus on me for just a few seconds, that's cool.
hmm
But at the end of the day, my job is to get my wrestler over and get the wins.
And you
Get
have done that. You have succeeded. You actually last year led Benny Nitro as a manager. First championship gold, DKW Showcase Championship. Tell me, what was it like for you to see not just a client but also a friend, and in your role as well, just being part
Yeah,
of your brand.
that was a big deal for me as well. Because I said to Benny, like I said, even with or without me, you probably would have won a title this year. But to like be a part of that and to be sort of like the catalyst to why you won this title, it meant so much. And the fact that they trusted me enough to go along with the story and stuff like that. And I feel like Benny and I, it was kind of like a slow burner. We had to kind of work with each other a few times to really figure out how our characters can mesh together. But as
Yeah.
soon as we got rolling, we was like, okay, we know what we're doing. We're just going to go out there, do our thing, get the reactions that we need, and yeah, I think we make a pretty good. We have a really good dynamic, and it's worked really well so far. So I'm excited to see what happens
It,
this
it
year.
has worked really well. Like on the shows, being part of the commentary team and hearing the live crowd, you get that
Yeah,
heat, and then Benny, like he embraces that heat. And
yeah,
it's such a good pairing, and it works.
mm.
And you've
Yeah,
got Tom Edwards as well, one of your other clients, part of the LVB brand. If you,
yeah.
I don't I actually want you to discuss that as well now, if you can. Tell me about the Luca Valentino brand.
Yeah, so it was kind of inspired. I got inspired by the Robert Stone brand in
Oh yeah,
NXT.
yeah,
Uh, Robbie E, Robert Stone, whatever you want to call him, because he started doing the whole, business person gimmick
mm,
where he would recruit clients and they'd have matches. But the thing is, it's kind of like a, polar opposite to that because his clients all lost their matches.
yeah,
Every He'd come out, he'd like boast about how great his client is, and they would always lose every single week.
yeah.
My, on the hand, always win their matches because it's me. How,
They
how can
may
you
have assistance or not.
how can you not win when you're with me, right? So yeah, that's what I got inspired by. So I picked the name Luca Valentino brand, or the LVB for short. And yeah, things are just going really great, and I'm really excited to not only keep expanding in DKW, but also to other promotions as well, because I have been in touch with some other promotions. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this year has in store for me and my brand as a whole.
Who in the DKW Academy do you think would make a great addition to the LVB?
Um, well, there isn't
Doesn't have
much.
to just be one wrestler, but who do you think, just top of your head, just a few wrestlers you think, well, I can work with him. He's got potential. Nah, he's not
uh,
going to me.
I mean, one that's to stand out to me is possibly Denzel Mack. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's an incredible talent, incredible person, and I can see really big things happening for him this year. I mean, he's got the look, he's got the style, he's got the athleticism. He's going to go places, that guy. So possibly adding the big old Mac to our brand. I wouldn't be, you know, I would be open to that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we've got a good solid group going. We've got Tony Kemp, we've got Tom Edwards, we've got Benny.
Yes, the
Uh,
nemesis.
Tony, Tony's a DKW vet. He's an OG, so you
He's
know
really
he
good. I like him.
he's he's great to work with. And yeah, I'm open to working with anyone because we've had so many like changes like earlier last year, now last year because it's 2024. I got to work with Razor and Hanson Jack of the HR department, and then I got to work with Nathan Blade, who's another wrestler in the Southeast circuit who's really good. So yeah, I literally would love anyone, as long as they have that attitude and they have the style and they have the charisma, that's all we need in the brand. So yeah,
Since
anyone.
you've liked wrestling for quite a while, I want you to do fancy booking and book your own stable. You can only pick one tag team. That makes sense doing that, right? Yeah. Yeah. What? Okay. So it counts. You get what I mean. One female wrestler and one male wrestler.
It's funny you asked me this because I've actually thought of having my very own like Legado del Fantasma,
Yeah.
but instead of like Hispanics and Latinos, we have Italians. And there's plenty of Italian wrestlers in the UK that I can think of that will make it a perfect addition. So obviously you'd have me
Yeah.
as the manager and the mouthpiece. You have Rocco Garcia. You have Adriano, I think his name is Adriano. Yeah. You have Fabiano Romano. And it's just a shame because Laura Di Matteo, she recently announced her retirement,
Oh,
and
really? I didn't know
I,
she
I
retired.
really would have loved to have worked with her. I
Yeah.
actually saw her 2023 October for Pro Wrestling Nova, their last show, and yeah, she was really entertaining. So it sucks that she just recently retired, but I would have loved to have her. But there's also a wrestler in Italy called Queen Maya. She's like 6'1". She's got like a really good look to her. I met her almost 10 years ago at a show in IPW, and she was really nice. So yeah, I would love to have like an Italian Legado del Fantasma, but I'd have to obviously come up with like a different name. There's also another upcoming Italian wrestler called Dante Serafino, who I would really like to work with as well. So any one of those guys, hit me
Mhm.
up. Ciao.
There you go. There you go. There's an invitation there from Luca himself. Luca, tell me, what plans do you have for 2025? Not just as a manager, but for the LVB as well. What do
Well, to expand the brand, so
you?
work where other promotions, maybe get some merchandise out. Just basically do way better than I did in 2024 because 2024 was such an amazing year.
Mhm.
It the best year I've had in my career. It was the busiest year I've had in my career, and I just feel like because I worked like we had 14 shows in the GKW calendar year, and of the 14, I worked 11 of them.
Yeah.
So that kind of like I sort of had to look at myself and go, you know what? I think you are ready now more than ever to spread your wings and fly. So yeah, just plan to work with more promotions, more wrestlers because the British wrestling scene has always been really, really hot, but I feel like it's hotter than ever now.
Yeah.
So I get to work with new people, new experiences. That would be my ultimate goal in 2025.
I feel like with NXT UK closing down, and I think there was a bit of a pause after the pandemic. But I feel like that's just opened up now for a new crop of talent, and we are seeing that all over the UK scene right now. And
Yeah.
you can see it. You know, DKW Academy is one company I always vouch for and say, yeah, check out their talent and check out their brand, and the managers and the commentators. Cheap plug, but
Is is it? It's interesting that you talk about NXT UK
yeah,
because Kit Wilson, WWE superstar, he and I actually started at IPW at the same time as each other.
really,
Yeah, he literally started training the week before I did,
bloody
so
hell.
we sort of came up together. And I'm not surprised at all that he is where he is. He's
Mm,
had special from very early on. One of my earliest memories of him was cutting a promo, like One Direction style, because he looked like a boy band member when he first started out.
yeah.
It was insane, and he just had so much charisma. I mean, like he started out like very introverted and very quiet, but the guys and the environment in general just like got him out of his shell. So I'm very proud to see how far he's come, and him and Lewis or Elton, they're doing such amazing things, and they just they're both really
Pretty
talented.
Deadly are fantastic. I just want them to have the belts though, just for selfish reasons. I think they're fantastic, honestly.
One one day, I guarantee you one.
It's gotta happen, mate. Like
Yeah,
DIY, like just give them the belts.
yeah. Him and also his wife Stevie Turner. She and I go way back. I've known her for like 11 years now.
Yeah.
Uh, we actually met on Twitter. Um, she was just starting her training, and I was still kind of looking for wrestling schools at the time. And we just like we're talking about our love of wrestling, and we were saying, oh, can't wait for you to have your first match, can't wait for you to have your first opportunity. So we just spoke and spoke for years, and then we met each other eventually in 2017 when I was working up in Southampton for a promotion called KWE,
Yeah.
and she under the name Bobby Tyler, and yeah, she's amazing as well. She's really talented, and she's doing some amazing stuff with Robert Stone in NXT. And yeah, they're a cute couple. Got married last year, and I'm very happy for the both of them. And I get to see them again really, really soon.
Yeah. Hopefully they're back in the UK, mate. But yeah, no, Pretty Deadly awesome. I didn't actually know they were married, by the way. I didn't. I thought they were just. I think I saw like a picture of them together, but I didn't
Yeah,
really add it up.
I think they got married in the Grand Canyon or something. Like there was like a massive, canyon behind them. It was a
Yeah.
really beautiful pictures that I saw on Instagram. But yeah, both really amazing guys, and they deserve the world. So yeah, I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, good on them, mate. Good on them. Just a few more questions. Tell me your top five managers of all time. Don't really get to ask that.
Oh, so Jimmy Hart, love Jimmy Hart. Bobby Heenan.
I'm sorry if I can't stand Jimmy Hart.
I oh, who are you? Who are you?
Oh,
Honestly,
no, I know, it's not popular opinion, but yeah, continue. Bobby Heenan, yeah.
yeah,
Fuck.
Bobby. Jim Cornette,
Yes, yes.
Missy, Missy Hyatt, and Sunny. Controversial, I know, but Sunny. So say
Ah,
what
Sonny's
say
my
what
top one.
say what you want about her, but she was a fucking great worker. She
He
was
was
a
brilliant.
great worker. You know, she knew the business. She studied it. You know, she wasn't like a Sable where it was
Yeah,
just look. You know, because let's be honest, Sable didn't have any talent whatsoever. You know,
there wasn't a lot of talent there, but
she was just tits and teeth, and that doesn't really take you very far in the business, not even in today's world. So yeah, say what you want about Sunny. You know, she's doing her time. She's learning the lesson the hard way,
yeah.
but she's a great worker when she was on the scene. So yeah, those are my top five.
That's fair, mate. Honestly, they very surprised me with the answers, and I love that. I genuinely love that. With Sunny, she'd probably be my top 10 as a person. Don't care for. I've met her before. She was actually alright, to be fair. But just the shits that she's been doing while she's not going to be out for a while. But as a manager, she was just a very good character. She knew who she's working with, like Skip and Sunny, brilliant. Thought it great. If she just could sort her issues out, I just think the business would just have a better memory of her. Unfortunately, it's just been tarnished. But that 1.5 year in WWE when she was top manager, she was brilliant.
Yeah, most downloaded celebrity. You know,
Oh,
she
yeah.
she turned down Playboy. You know, I actually read her book that she put out. Some very interesting stories. But yeah, she's not going to get out for another few years. She's not going to get out until like 2039, I believe.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
But hopefully, by the time she gets out, she won't be fit enough to hurt more people than she's already.
Yeah, it's quite fucked up the story, but Jim Cornette, I know he's another controversial one, but oh my God, his work and the people he managed and his promos, like you wanted to literally punch him through your TV screen.
Yeah, honestly, I could literally sit and watch him talk all day. Someone who he absolutely despised, who I've actually met, is Vince Russo.
You
Vince
mean Vince
Russo.
Russo?
Yeah, Vince Russo. Vince Russo. So in late 2014, uh, they decided to do a storyline where they brought Vince Russo in as like a CEO of IPW. I
Yeah,
can't remember what the actual title was though. It was like EVP or something like that. But they brought him in, uh, and he feuded with the promoter. And they had like this faction wars where Vince had his, you know,
yeah.
henchmen and then the promoter had his, and it all culminated into this match where the promoter and the Vince would actually wrestle in the match, and it got awful.
Oh no,
The
it
match,
sounds great. I don't know, it sounds terrible. Like Vince
honest,
in the ring.
honest,
I want to see
the
it.
match was awful. I mean,
Yeah.
the workers, the actual wrestlers, did an amazing job, but once Vince got in there, it was just like
Oh my
what?
God, is this out
Yeah,
there? This match? Is
yeah.
it?
But it's on YouTube. So it was Vince Russo.
Hold on, 1 minute, 1 minute. Hold
It,
on.
12 hours later.
How was he though as a person though, if you did interact with him?
yeah. So I interacted with him a few times. But like pleasantries, like how hello, how are you? I remember the longest conversation I had with him was we was backstage at a show, and we just got talking, and I was discussing my gear at the
Mhm.
time that I had, and because I had like this stupid vest with the Italian flag on it, and on it it had Vigioso Valentino, which
Yeah,
means Valentino, and it looked like you know, like Nikki Bella's gear, the
yeah.
fearless Nikki gear. It had it on that, and I just remember he looked at me and he just started laughing, and he was like, "Fearless Nikki, bro, fearless Nikki, are you serious?" But yeah, I'm glad that was the most amount of time I spent with him, because honestly, I couldn't imagine being in a room with him for like an hour. Honestly, hearing bro after like 5 seconds every single time.
It would get in your fucking nerves, wouldn't it? Just
But
bro,
it,
bro.
but he was nice.
Yeah,
He was going to be a dick, but he was actually really nice. But yeah, IPW, I met loads of good people. I've met guys like Paul London. I've met, you know, Bad Bones John Klinger, who sadly passed away last year, was a really good friend of mine.
yeah. So it's here.
And I just had a really good experience there, and I was trained by you know, James Davis of the London Rights tag team, one of the best tag teams to come out of the British wrestling scene.
That's a name, in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them.
And Jonathan Windsor, he was also one of my trainers. And so, yeah, I had really good times at
Mm,
IPW. And it's sad things ended the way they did between me and the promoter, but
yeah.
I'm done. I'm happy, and I'm just living my best life in the wrestling business. But I'm very grateful for the experiences and the time that I had in IPW, and that'll always be a place that's going to be in my heart forever. So,
That's it, man. That's it. You can still look back at it positively, even if this issue. I won't ask you, by the way, but yeah, you still have those memories and the laughs, and we've just shared with each other, and that's good, man. That's good. But you're on to new things. You've got what last year was your busiest year. You said,
mm,
all those shows. Hopefully that doubles. Keep yourself busy, not just DKW, but other companies. You're putting yourself out there on Instagram. And, I've got time for your social media, and you're a nice person as well. Interacts at shows, and hey, Lucca, no Buka, Lucca. So I'm gonna go first. I think.
alphabetically, always
There we
alphabetically.
go. There we go. Yeah, you get it. Now I'm joking, but no, it's good, man. I'm gonna ask last one question for you. Let me try it again. I'm going to ask you one more question, mate, and I'll let you go because we're recording this on a Friday night, and I appreciate Lucas' time. We've tried to make this work before um, the end of last year, but unfortunately, just things happen. But we've been able to have a chat. It's been a good chat, mate. I've enjoyed it, mate. It's been good. It's been good. But tell me, three dream dinner guests for your dream party, past or present, doesn't have to be about wrestling. You can now take a break from professional wrestling, mate. But I want a quick reason as to why you want them there. Doesn't have to be a celebrity, by the way. You can pick anyone. Go.
Okay, so three. okay, so I just have to pick Gangrel and
Hey.
Luna Vachon because
Nice.
they were married,
Yeah.
uh, and Luna Vachon was just amazing. She was batshit crazy.
Underrated.
She was batshit crazy, but she was absolutely amazing. So I can just only imagine what having dinner with the two of them would be like.
Yeah.
She'd probably be tearing chunks out of the waiter for, bringing cold
Mm.
fish to tables.
Oh, tuna, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my. It's a shame that
Yeah.
us because I know that she would wipe the floor with most of the talent that they have today.
Hmm.
Third and final, um, I'd probably have to say Marilyn Monroe, the original blonde bombshell.
Yeah. Fair enough. Why Marilyn?
That'd be a good table to sit at. I'd say pretty iconic.
No, that's cool. You got the vampires in the corner and Marilyn Monroe, like go. And you've
Yeah,
obviously got Luca Valentino hosting it. What would you make them, mate? That's an extra question for you.
I can't cook, so I would have no
What would you
idea.
order then?
Order just a pizza. I'd be a typical Italian. I'd be like pizza, spaghetti, you know, all the good Italian stuff, all the good, you know, chef's kiss.
Fair play, mate. Oh, sorry, I actually forgot to ask. Just because I really enjoy your interactions with Champagne Charlie at the shows. I just love you two in the ring together. Just the way you're always pissing each other off. It's fucking great. Um, just yeah. You got any messages for Champagne Charlie? I've just gotta, just it always cracks me up the way you two are with each other. It's brilliant. That shows.
Go back to Manchester, please. That's what I say to Champagne Charlie. God. Um, but yeah, I did enjoy managing him for the brief while that I did. But it wasn't me. I
Yeah.
was, because originally, so what was supposed to happen was I was gonna debut, and I had this like plan, where like I was because it was gonna be him against Tyson Keaton
Hmm.
at Destiny. It was May 28th, 2023, and I had this promo written out that I was gonna do, and it was gonna be perfect. And 2 days before, I was told, "No, you're gonna debut as a babyface, and you're gonna manage Champagne Charlie." So I had to kind of turn lemons into lemonade and make do with what I will, because Champagne Charlie, he's over as fuck. Like you
Yeah.
literally have to poke your finger at his head and they boo you like crazy. So, but I understood where they were going to go with the story and eventually turn me heel, and that's really where I got to bring La Bomba Beyond to life.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it was great. He's a good guy, and
Yeah, he's wicked.
Yeah, hate the accent though. It's awful.
I love that you actually ended it just how I enjoyed the way you two are. It's brilliant. Luca, quality chat, mate. We're now at the end of the interview. If there's anything you want to promote, anything you want to share, or anything you just want to get off your chest, the opportunity is yours now, mate.
Just thank you so much, George, for having me. Keep watching this podcast. He's got a lot of great talent coming up on his podcast. And if you want to follow me, my only social media is my Instagram, which is at Luca Valentino 99. If you want to book me, it's luca.valentino@outlook.com. And yeah, just keep your eyes peeled on DKW. We've got a whole host of shows this year. It's going to be probably our best year ever. So yeah, big things are on the horizon for DKW and Luca Valentino as a whole.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. If the listeners out there can like this video, subscribe to the channel, give Luca a follow on his social media. They'll be in the description below, the social media handles. Also, along with mine, give me a follow, see what I've got lined up for the rest of the year. But for now, everyone, take care. Peace.